Hello everybody, welcome to another DC critique video. I'm going to be taking some of your artworks and roasting it to heaven and earth, back and forth, burn your soul, put it in a hot, nice cooker, toss it around, give it back to you so that you can cry in the corner of your room to your mother. I'm going to just take some of your works, actually some of the works of people from Drawing Camp, and then give them constructive feedback and then actionable steps that they can take to improve their art. 3 actionable steps in every case. That's what I'm trying to do. Give you like a solid action plan. Anyways, let's start with today's person of feedback today is Pujashri Harikrishnan. So Pujashri is a person working in the IT sector, wanting to become an artist, professional illustrator. So she has her own stories in her head and she wants to take those stories and put it into paper and to share it with other people. That's her goal. Pujashri has made a lot of progress. So this is the kind of drawings that she's making these days. And she's doing that with her phone. That is amazing, right? Cool. It's just like traditional inks and phone. She doesn't have a tablet yet. And this is how she used to be. See? Damn solid progress, right? So I'd say that's pretty damn good progress right there. So good job, Pujashri. Credits where it's due. Now the point of this video is how can we go from she's at a decent level. How can she go from this to this? How to make the jump. First up, Pujashri, let's have a look at your work, shall we? A couple of things that I'm seeing when I'm looking at your work is this. Why do I keep seeing this everywhere? You just gotta construct your forms well. 1, I always talk about how solid your forms should be. Your forms, well, the solidity of your forms should be good. One should always focus on. Most beginner artists should always focus on that. The first thing that I'm seeing here is this. Line work. You could definitely improve the quality of your inking lines, not line work in the sense, your inks basically. Let me choose my favorite inking brush of choice right here. So the quality of the inks can just go a little bit better, right? So it's slightly everywhere. It's slightly all over the place, right? Because it's just like it's thick here, it's thin here, it's thick, it's thin, it's thick, and it's thin here for like no apparent reason. One of the things that I've always talked about, the thickness and the thinness of your lines should have a reason. For example, let's say I'm drawing this very same face right here, right? I'm gonna draw this very same face, ink it. I'm just gonna slightly just put it in my own style a little bit. Right, so you've got this. I've got this whole thing, right? Let me show you some tricks right here, Pujashri. And I'm making some mistakes here as well so that I can correct it and show that to you. Okay, good. So far, I have this, right? Yeah, good. Maybe I'll move it up here so it's a bit more clearer. So, one of the rules or principles that I use when it comes to determining the thickness and the thinness of the ink lines is this. First thing, if the line is slightly closer to me, it will be slightly thicker. Meaning, if you treat these lines as something in perspective, in the z-axis or in the axis of depth or whatever you want to call it, I'm bad with physics. If it's slightly closer to me or it's overlapping another form, that line, the thing that's overlapping the other form will be thicker. For example, the turban right here, it's thin, but I'm going to make it thick, right? If I make it, it's too thick. If I make it slightly thicker than this, it will appear as if this form is overlapping the other form. Same goes with the underneath, the bottom of the chin right here, because it's overlapping the neck. And for example, right here it's thick and all of a sudden just thin for no apparent reason, right? So balancing those things out. This right here would be at a heavy shadow, so maybe a little bit, that's too thick. Maybe a little bit more thickness right here in this area, right? So maybe right here, it's fine. And maybe underneath the nose, right? If you made any mistakes, right, you can always just erase certain parts. But little adjustments, and all of a sudden it just gets too thin right here, right? You got to use line weights, but it should be a bit more kind of on the quality end right here. So that is one thing that you can do. I've already spoke to you about this, right? Art of Inking, the course. Do the brush pen line weight exercises. That's going to help you a lot, right? So that is number one that Pujyashree needs to work on. Number two, this is like a very superficial thing which I gave you, the first one, right? I'm going to give you the second one, which is not so very superficial, which is we got to work on the very foundation of things itself, Pujyashree. So first thing, right? The solidity of your forms is pretty neat. It needs a bit more work. I can show you how I do it. By the way, it's all very stylistic choices that I'm making right here, so keep those things in mind. Two, the way you construct your shape, aka the shape language, can also have, use some work. So for example, the way I would probably construct this character, right? So first you have the gesture right here, right? So make sure, like one, see the balance is completely off, right? If that is something that you're going for, fine, but I don't think it looks nice or neat in my opinion. So one thing what I would do is, slightly balance it, center, or maybe even if you're going for the character leaning, right? Then that is what you're going for. See, there's this head, the placement, the gesture, the torso, and then I would slightly balance it out with a bit more things on the left side. So like I talked about composition, right? Like if there's too much weight on this side of the illustration, and if you don't want that imbalance, you can actually place certain elements on this side of the illustration, sort of like a seesaw, to balance the attention that's going on to certain areas, hence balancing the composition. So hopefully that's a bunch of fancy words which I just used there. So this is one, right? The base structure itself could use work. Number two, Pujyashree, what's happening right here, right? Something weird stuff. Always, again, focus on constructing your forms, properly, right? Even this is not proper. The person would be probably holding it, right? Like this. So if I'm trying to draw hands, the first thing that I do is try to get the gesture right by simply just using the stick method, just getting that gesture right, and then constructing the muscles or whatever you want on top of that. This character is slightly on the skinny fat side, so meaning it's skinny, not definitely doesn't have any muscle definition. So there's like fat on top. There's going to be like a nice belly. There's definitely not going to be like nice rounded shoulders. Underdeveloped shoulders is what this character will have. See? And then forearms. All of this again from the Anatomy Made Simple chapter, right? So, and then you can place that Veena thing, right? Just maybe sometimes it's just better to draw the entire form well and nice before, so that. And also, I don't think it bends this much. But if that is a stylistic choice that you're going for, right? You can bend it a bit more, nicely, in a sense. Add some flow to that itself. Like really feathering it right here. Don't do too much of this kind of feathering. Right, and then like that. So I use this as one plane. See? Yeah. So you've got this. You got the fingers. right? Thumb won't fully wrap around, but it works like this, right? And basically just rests right here. And then the head is what I would slightly change a bit more. You just need to construct it. I'll construct it right here nearby your drawing itself so you can see it slightly better, right? It's too flat, right? It's too flat. It looks like as if it's like a paper, right? There's no solidity or depth to the form. Like the nose seems like a thing attached to this, right? So you can rectify that, unless that's a stylistic choice. But at this point, your drawing practice, I wouldn't suggest you hide behind style to make up for deficiencies, right? So like make the forms a bit more fuller, right? This one would be slightly, maybe you can still maintain that leanness of the face that you're going for. Jaw. See, and wrapping things around that. And then, for example, the nose, even if you're going for that cartoonish thing, right? It needs to have a certain sense of depth to really have that feel, right? Just putting the nose up front, bringing it up forth, or what is that word? Bringing it forthrightly into the front part. Yeah, the mouth, I kind of like it. The eyes, see, when you're drawing closed eyes, always make sure the eye is what? A ball right here, right? So you need to draw on top of that imaginary ball that you draw. So you need to imagine that ball, and then you draw the eyes. Then you can exaggerate certain elements too. Right here, like that, see? So this is comparatively a bit more, fuller, right? And even the wave drawn turban can be just having that little form contour right here, right? Like that. And attaching the neck properly, even if it's a thin pencil neck, that's important, right? It needs to be attached to the spine comes out here, so it needs to be attached to the skull, right? Because on top of that you have your face. Good. So see, this is the way I would have drawn the head for this character, right? There you go. Little things, right? Properly placing the forms and constructing the forms well. And that means, so if you're drawing a face, it's not like a flat piece of paper, right? The nose isn't like this, rather the nose is like this. You need to show a bit more depth between the different forms that are there on your face, the different forms that are there on your body. Everything is just single forms, just slapped together to make the human body come together. That is second thing, Pujashri. Third would be your colors. But the thing is this, right? At this point in time, I will probably give you too much. But here's the thing though. One, you've told me that you actually colored this on your phone, which is just incredible. That's amazing. You do this on your phone. Wow. Kudos to you. Good job, right? But if you want to learn how to choose better colors, I would suggest this very simple exercise. One is, I've got a free class on Skillshare. down below on color theory, right? And under my color theory class, you can check those things out. You can just go for like a free sign up, and then if you want to, then don't want to use Skillshare, you cancel your membership within that 2-week trial period, right? Under that class, I have something called color harmonies, right? We have different kinds of color harmonies, like split complementary, complementary. What I want you to do is, this is one of the illustrations, which is using a typical complementary color scheme, color harmony. Complementary in the sense, if I pick this color, right? Yellow. If you look at it on the color wheel, look where it is, right? So yellow, and then if I then pick blue, look where it is, sort of on the opposite end, pretty much on the opposite end of the spectrum, right? Warm, cool, right? This is what we call complementary color schemes. Actually, blue and red are proper complementary right here. See, opposites. So what I'd probably want you to do is learn the color harmonies and try to create different harmonies. Basically create like different kinds of color combinations that you think would be good. So what would probably go well with this? You know, this is a bit analogous, right? This is on the analogous side of the color scheme. That's another color harmony, right? Then you just practice. If any of you want to get good at colors, this is how you do it. Practice getting in different kinds of combinations in together and see which one works. This way you're building your palette. Just like you have taste palettes, right? You like certain kinds of foods, you like certain kinds of colors. And you need a palette of colors that's there in your head. And the way you do that is by doing these exercises and also looking at real life imageries and then studying those colors, right? Right here, like this dark blue, if you look at my frame right now, this dark desaturated blue goes really well with a nice saturated yellow. Boom, see? Even a bit more darker. Boom. I'm learning right here just from this. Gives you an idea of, why does things look good in certain colors, right? So Pujashree, I want you to sort of take those color harmony classes, and any of you want to get good at colors, take that class, it's for free. You just sign up for the free trial. And then under each color harmonies, under the section of color harmonies, try to do these exercises. Create like 10 different combinations for each and every single color harmony. If it's split complementary, create 10 combinations. If it's like analogous, create 10 combinations, right, of different colors. This will sort of train your brain to see in combos of different colors. So those are the things that I would suggest here for Pujashree right here, and also for most artists who are trying to improve your skill. Work on your forms, right? Learn to construct them well, and hope these little tips here and there helps. And I'll see you guys in the next one, where I'll be critiquing another person or a bunch of people. Who knows? I might do both. See you. Bye.